Good afternoon. Great to have you with us on this Friday. We begin at 4 o'clock with the changing landscape in downtown Indy. Right now, the city is clearing the way for demolition of what's been known for years as Jail 1.
That's the building right next to the transit center near Alabama and Maryland streets. And for decades, it was used to house the inmates. But that changed 2 years ago when the criminal justice campus opened up.
Our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick looks into what's next.
Right now, the city is doing pre-demolition work on the former downtown jail with plans to tear it all down, ultimately paving the way for a new chapter on this side of downtown.
On Friday, crews adding fencing and concrete barriers to the 2-acre site as the old jail now awaits the wrecking ball.
It's old and it feels pretty bleak.
Jacob Ryan owns Masterwork Tattoo, just steps away from the vacant building. Curious what the property will become.
I mean, we're a few blocks from the circle and there should be something that's adds to the culture of downtown as opposed to just sitting vacant and dirty.
In September, the city got the green light to demo the decades-old building. 35. It first opened in the 60s, with the last inmates leaving in 2022. That's when services shifted to the new criminal justice campus. Until last month, the building was still occupied by the county's forensic team, who eventually moved out. As for what will replace the jail, that's still unknown. The effort comes as the city looks to build a soccer stadium at the downtown heliport, approving a new tax district in the area with hopes of wooing an MLS team. Plus, Cambridge Fieldhouse is right across the street, with many wondering if the Pacers or Fever will expand their downtown footprint. Currently, the city has not started accepting any proposals for a redevelopment, something that likely won't happen until after demolition, meaning those downtown will need to wait a little longer.
Something new will be good for the people and the businesses downtown.
Again, the city tells us this is all pre-work, but once the permits are approved, they will set an actual demolition date. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
And now we did reach out to Pacers Sports and Entertainment to see if they are interested in the property. We're told the organization is thinking about the Fever's future, and they're in the early stages of exploring options to enhance the training facilities of the team.
But at this time, they don't have a time frame or location to announce. You can bet we will be tracking that and following it every moment of it. Some sad news to pass along this afternoon. We've learned the 13-year-old boy shot inside his Greenwood home over the weekend has died. Police say 6 juveniles were playing with a gun Sunday morning. That's what they believe was happening when one of them pointed it at James Davis and shot him. Another 13-year-old is under arrest and expected in juvenile court later this month. The Johnson County prosecutor is still determining what charges that teen may face.
And we have an update right now on a shooting involving at least one IMPD officer. We first brought you that story as breaking news last night at 5. The shooting happening at the CVS on 16th and Meridian. Officers were called to do a welfare check after it was reported a man was unresponsive in the drive-thru. When IMPD tried to wake him up, he cooperated at first, then jumped in the driver's seat and backed the vehicle up, pinning an officer. And that's when police say an officer fired his gun, hitting the suspect in the arm. The officer was injured and the suspect also injured were both taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. IMPD says no one else was hurt. We will have much more on this on 13 News at 5.
And we've just learned new details about a man who died at work inside a Muncie factory this week.
The Delaware County Coroner's lead investigator says 50-year-old Robert Meering died after an incident at Progress Rail. The Muncie Fire Department says that multiple local and federal agencies are part of this investigation.
The fire department's chief investigator tells 13 News that this is being investigated as an industrial accident.
Well, let's take a look outside. We have had some cooler temperatures that we've been experiencing. It's beginning to feel a lot more like fall. And we've also been dealing with this gray overcast, which for me just makes it so much harder to deal with.
It's kind of blah, but it's Friday, so that's the upside.
Yeah, I kind of came in and I was like, why am I in kind of a blah mood?
Yeah.
That,
why do I not,
that shot we just saw.
Yeah, and it takes extra work to try to like, okay, how am I going to get out of this, shake these gray clouds?
Yeah.
And that's really the forecast too. How are we going to shake these gray clouds? Because it's going to have a big impact on our temperatures, especially for Sunday. If we can shake those clouds, it'll really change things up quite a bit for us. Let's get right into it. And the clouds that stay with us are really over the entire state. Notice there's a little bit of clearing back to the west, and parts of Illinois are enjoying some sunshine, but these low-level clouds that are in place, they are very, very difficult to kind of mix things out. The interesting thing is, if we do mix those clouds out during the day, it helps to warm us up. Look at the temperatures to the west where they have the clear skies, responding to the sunshine, which even this time of year is on the stronger side, able to move the temperatures quite a bit. Where we're socked in clouds, we stay much cooler, but at night they have the opposite effect. And what may happen is some areas that do clear out, your temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly. We're going to hold right to the middle ground here. So if we can get a little bit of clearing, patchy clearing here and there, we may be able to see a little bit of patchy fog develop. I'm going to hold the temperature right here at 42. That may be a little bit on the lower side, but it's kind of a catch-all for some of those areas that do clear out. And then as we warm up for tomorrow, I think we'll be able to make it into the mid-50s, but this is one of the cooler days we have in the forecast. Temperatures going up close to 70 in some parts of the area before a chance of some snow moves in. So we've got a lot happening. I'll talk about that snow chance. I'll talk about those warmer temperatures in the 7-day coming up.
Bring it on. Thanks so much, Rob. We appreciate you. Here's your quick check of traffic. This is a look at I-69 just north of 465, and things are moving in both directions.
Right now, Governor Eric Holcomb is on his way to the Middle East, traveling to Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. He posted earlier today on X that it's to strengthen global partnerships and economic ties. The governor's office says this is his first trip to Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, but he's been known to travel for work. According to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle, the trip will be his 27th as governor and the final stop abroad for his administration. And as President-elect Donald Trump builds out his second administration, one name in particular keeps popping up.
Yes, Elon Musk, the billionaire, is frequently by Trump's side in the wake of the election and has promised to play a big role in his government.
Ryan Nobles looks at Musk's influence as the president-elect maps out his plans for the term ahead.
President Donald Trump is all in on Elon Musk.
You know, I'm a person that believes in high IQs, and his is about as high as they get.
The world's richest man betting big on his fellow billionaire and offering up his help to correct the economic direction of the country.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Musk is making his presence known in Trump world. Sources tell NBC News he's a near constant presence at the Mar-a-Lago Transition HQ.
I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here, too.
He traveled with Trump for his first trip back to Washington since his election victory. And in a report not confirmed by NBC News, the New York Times citing 2 Iranian officials that says that Musk met with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations in an attempt to smooth tensions between the countries. Trump also reportedly handed the phone to Musk while talking to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But Musk's close access to Trump does not come without potential problems. The billionaire's various companies have major contracts with the federal government. His company, SpaceX, has received billions of dollars in federal projects.
Are you kidding me?
His company, Tesla, sells more electric cars than any other company. If Trump slashes the federal incentives for EVs, it could make it more difficult for other car makers to enter the market. On Capitol Hill, Republicans seem open to letting the successful businessman have a crack at finding ways to make government work better.
With his leadership and cutting waste in the government, just as he's taken us to the stars, I think it's the ability to cut and turbocharge this economy.
While Democrats remain skeptical.
We all want government efficiency. In the past, that has failed miserably, but let's see what he comes up with.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump's first vice president is weighing in on one of his cabinet appointments. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence says he's concerned with Robert F. Kennedy's appointment to run the Department of Health and Human Services. He calls Kennedy, quote, an abrupt departure from the Trump-Pence pro-life record. He goes on to say that he urges Senate Republicans to reject Kennedy's nomination and give the American people a leader who will respect the sanctity of life as HHS Secretary. Pence made these comments through a statement posted on his social media by his PAC Advancing American Freedom.